Eric Freeman is a partner in a real estate investment firm. He and his wife are raising two boys, two young sons. And as a former viola player, Eric is on the board of the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra. But his most important role may be as president of A Better Chance of Westport. For over 20 years, the organization has provided educational opportunities and a lot more to young men of color from less advantaged communities than Westport. So today, a few days before ABC's big Dream event, right here at the Westport Library on April 26th, we welcome Eric Freeman to 06880, the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
You bet. So before we get to A Better Chance, quick recap. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into your day job? And
Sure.
How'd you end up in Westport?
Sure. Great questions. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. Was born and raised there.
Beale Street.
Yep, Beale Street. I was always very interested in business as a kid, and I wanted to go to the best business school I could ever think of going to. And ended up going into University of Pennsylvania in undergrad Wharton. Studied business there, and from there moved to New York, worked in investment banking for several years, and from that experience knew I wanted to be on the buy side of real estate. And I joined a firm that was in Connecticut, in Norwalk, Connecticut, in 2004, and was there for about 15 years before my current partners and I split off and started a new firm. And we've been there for about 6 years now.
And we were talking before about the tumultuous times we're in, but this is not about finance. It's about young men and what they do.
Exactly.
So my little description of A Better Chance of Westport, was that on target?
100% on point. Better Chance, like you said, is a national organization that's been around for maybe 60, 70 years. Westport is one of the locations that A Better Chance has in operation. So the way our program works is kids, like you said, come in from just disadvantaged areas where the school situation may not be as advantageous for them, and young men and women test into the program and try to go to day schools, boarding schools, community schools, and this what we have in Connecticut in Westport. And there are several schools like us. There's one at Ridgefield, Darien. All these towns who believe in diversity and believe in education and believe in giving opportunities to people, host young men or women, and to come as ninth graders and then matriculate through the high school. So our young men we have a boys program here in Westport. They live in a house here in it's almost like a boarding school type atmosphere where they live with a host family, and they come and they go to Staples and become part of the community. It's a great setup, and it's a great opportunity for the young people who come through.
The young men are amazing. We're going to get to that in a second and talk about them and the challenges they face and how they surmount them. How about you? How did you get involved with A Better Chance?
Yeah, I got involved several years ago as a mentor. I started, we would do these guys' night outs, and we're just going out and hanging out with the young men, just going to dinner, going to escape rooms and things like that. And then I was approached about doing something a more formal mentorship program. And I tapped several of my buddies in town, and we decided, hey, we're going to do this together. And when we formed a mentorship group for the boys in the house. And from there, it just there was an opening at the president position, and I decided, why not? Let's just go for it and do it. I really love what the organization stood for, what it was about, the opportunity that it was given the young men, and I just really wanted to be a part of it and help this organization grow.
And what's your role as president?
So as president, there's a number of things. One, just thinking about sort of strategic partnerships, thinking about who we go to for fundraising activities. Obviously, running the meetings and helping put the board together and figuring out the different activities and kind of really holding the day-to-day activities together. We have a tremendous board. They're amazing people who all volunteer their time, from people who are working and not working, but spending ample time working with these young men to help them grow. And so my role is just to kind of help piece it all together and think about what we can be doing strategically to help the organization grow and just to be better.
Talking about the young men,
Mm-hmm.
who are they? Where do they come from? And what's it like to suddenly go from their communities or families to this strange, white, affluent town?
Yeah, it's a culture shock. It's a lot, and one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of it, because I experienced some of that when I left Memphis and went to Penn. It was a big culture shock for myself, and so I can relate to having them go through that. But they're coming in as freshmen, as
13,
14 years old. So it's a lot. But I'll say, yes, there are definitely challenges from coming to a predominantly white community, a very affluent community. There's all sorts of things that can pop up. But I'd say for the most part, the Westport community is very welcoming, and there are really good people in this town that want to help these young men become part of the town. And we try to focus on that and not the negative piece. But to answer your question, so kids are coming from, for our location, in the past we've had people come as far as California, but we try to focus on the tri-state: New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, even Pennsylvania, and focus on having people come where they can jump on a train and go home if they needed to. And they're all extremely talented in some way or shape or form. We have in the current house, we have athletes, we have people who are thespians, we've got people who are playing instruments, we've got student leaders. So we've got people who are really giving their time and talent to Staples and are becoming part of the community. It's fantastic.
It's a journey. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they come in as freshmen, and
Mm-hmm.
any freshman has no clue,
Mm-hmm.
let alone someone coming into a new community.
That's right.
But to watch them grow over those 4 years, you mentioned a student leader. There's a young man who is on one of the 2 student reps on the Board of Education.
That's right. That's right.
I saw the Staples play, 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one of you guys playing Jesus.
That's right.
What compels a kid? What's in him to say, I want to leave my family, I want to go to this new town, and then to, not just become another student, but a
Mm-hmm.
leader?
Yeah. So I think there's a number of different things. First, it starts at the home. I mean, these young men all come from great families, have great parents who are inspiring them, who are pushing them to be the very best they can be. I also really would like to give a shout to our executive directors. I think they do a fantastic job of being that home away from home and inspiring these young men that, hey, why don't you try this thing? You're really good at singing. I hear you singing all the time. Why don't you try out for Athenians? Or this art class, I think this would be perfect for you to take. And really encouraging them and making an environment that they feel that warmth and the ability to be the very best that they can be. So I think it's a combination of all those things, and the young men. I mean, these are ambitious guys, and they just, we are doing at Staples and through this program, giving them that chance, giving them another opportunity to really shine.
And they get opportunities outside of the school too. You do some really innovative programming.
That's right. That's right.
What are some of the things that they've taken part in?
So we do a lot of summer enrichment. That's one of the things that we really focus on and that we want to grow, that enrichment experience, because during the school year there's all sorts of things you can do, but then outside of school in the summertime, when you can really grow those leadership skills or honing in a skill on whatever you want to do. We've had a student who went to Japan and took an art class last summer. We've got students going to Spain this summer. We've got students doing Boys State. So there's all different types of activities and programming that, if they're interested in, we can help them get there and help provide the support to help them do it.
I know you've taken you've taken them kayaking. You've gone to the
They go kayaking.
HBCU football game.
That's right. That's one of the things that we did at the beginning of this year. We went to a Howard Morehouse football game at MetLife Stadium. It was a lot of fun. One of the events we did with the mentors, they will be going on not backpacking, but they just go on a camping trip with the Dale and Danielle, our executive directors, and so it's fantastic what they can get to see and get some experiences throughout the school year.
And how much, you mentioned the Westport community playing a role in this. What are some of the things that the Westport community does for these young men? So
I say the first thing, and one of the most important parts of the program, is the host family program. So every scholar has 2 host families, and they see them one weekend, each host family 1 weekend a month. So 2 weekends a month, they're with their host family. And this is just a way for Westport families to, get to know a scholar and help a scholar, again, feel like he's part of the community. It's just another way to show them who we are as Westporters and what our values are. And I think it's a very valuable program where, some of these host families think of these young men as their sons. And it's really sweet, and we've had great stories over the years, and on the 26th, we'll hear some of the stories of you're letting a 14-year-old boy into your home that you haven't met, and by the time they graduate, you hate to see them go. Yeah. And so that's number one. And then there are all types of opportunities to be a driver. So the kids don't drive, and they've got all sorts of activities throughout the weeks, and just getting people from point A to point B and signing up for that is something they can do. And then aside from that, we have people come in to speak to the kids every once in a while and to talk about financial literacy, and to talk about career advice, to talk about college. So there's all sorts of ways to get involved.
My favorite host family story is that Suzanne Sherman Propp, when they were host families, they developed such a relationship that their young scholar, his father would come for their Passover Seders, and it was just it's a remarkable program. Yeah. What are some of the pressures and challenges that these kids face?
Well, again, what you touched on at the very beginning. I mean, just being in this environment. While I said, again, the overwhelming majority of Westporters are very welcoming, there are people who are not. And being in a high school like Staples, every once in a while things happen, and it's our job to help support the young men, the things that may be said or things that happen to them, and to give them guidance on how to deal with challenges that any teenager is going to deal with, whether it be a racial instance or something, some other social media thing or something that's happening online, just to give them the advice to how to get through it and how to deal with it. But again, I mean, things happen, and these are young teenagers, and it's just like what we would do for our own kids. We got to think about it and help talk to them and give them advice. And again, it goes back to our EDs who help. They're on the front line of helping them get through any issues that they may be having.
And you've sort of amassed a group of Black men, right, as mentors who are there for the kids.
That's
and
right.
Role models.
That's right. Yeah, it's great. We do all sorts of things. So we start the year with something that we call a fireside chat, where we go sit in my backyard, the fire pit, and we sit and talk about what they're going through, how they're feeling about the school year, what they did during the summer, and it kind of starts from there. And then everyone's paired with a mentor, where there's one-on-one interactions and coffees or lunches, and where people want to come and see their own child play a basketball game or softball game, and they come and visit. We do dinners and lunches. We also do service events. Just a couple weeks ago, we went to Norwalk to Open Doors and worked in their clothing section and helped organize and do those sorts of things. And because we are also a service organization where these young men are learning, hey, we've got this great opportunity, but it's also important for us to give back as well. And so they've got 10 hours of community service that they all do, and this was one of the things that helps them get through that. And so we do that together as mentors to tell our experiences, tell our story, and I think it's great for them to see people who maybe look like them or who've had experiences that are similar to theirs, so that they can make it a little bit easier to get through.
Any stories stand out of some of the young men that you've gotten to know and seen grow and go on and do things? Yeah,
I mean, we've had several guys graduate. I would say my mentee has been tremendous. He was a very quiet guy when I first met him when he was a freshman, and he has blossomed. I mean, I think when we have group meetings and group sessions, I hear him being vocal, and I hear him telling people, hey, this is what we're going to do. And I think that just to see his leadership over time and how he's grown, I think is amazing. And I'm really proud of him. And I think that he's a great young man.
And we mentioned the Dream event on April 26th, right here at the library. And at that event every year, the seniors get up and they talk about their journey, and an alumnus or two get up and talk about. That's
right. We actually, this year, we're having an alumnus who's coming back who was here in 2020, who did not get to give a speech because we didn't have a Dream event that year. And so he will be coming back and giving his senior speech. So we're excited about having him there. And then we've got a special honoree that evening, you, Mr. Dan Woog, for all the service and the beautiful things you've written in support of our organization. And so it's very excited about the evening. It's going to be a great night.
It's going to be fun. I appreciate it. And Yoel, the alum speaker, is coming from Las Vegas.
I know.
So that says a lot.
He's traveling all the way back here, and can't wait to meet him. I wasn't a part of the program in 2020, so I haven't met him yet. But I'm excited to get to know him, to meet him, and all the other alumni who'll be coming to the event.
Yeah, it's. Are you connected with some of the alums?
Yes, we actually had some of the alums come to the football game. And so we keep in touch, and that's another part of what we would like to grow the alumni network, so that maybe there can be eventually alumni who are mentors to the current young scholars in the house. So yeah, we do have a relationship with them.
Yeah, I always think about Khalik Sanda, who was before your time, but he was an exceptional young man, went to Duke, I believe, to study neurosurgery, and developed a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And through the connections in the town, he got great medical care, but he passed away.
Right.
The bridge over the I-95 bridge on Hills Point is named for him.
Yep.
But when he was in the final stages of his illness, the people in Westport, the alums, it was just both a tragic and sad, but also uplifting time. And to me, that sort of epitomizes the role of ABC in Westport.
Right. It shows you how important this is. I mean, how someone who wasn't a part of this community became a part of this community, and the ABC program was the catalyst for that happening. And I didn't have the opportunity to meet him, but I've heard great things about him, and I've definitely seen the bridge and that's named after him. I think that's very touching that he meant that much to the town.
Yeah. So what's ahead? 20 years for ABC. What's the next 20?
20 years from ABC. We're growing the organization. We're working on getting our sort of fundraising footing down, and so that some of the programming and things that we want to do aren't as challenging, because the way we're funded is through the kind donations from Westporters and corporations who believe in our mission and who believe that the things that we're doing are important. So the growth kind of starts there, and then the sky's the limit, with, again, programming, with potentially even having a women's house here in Westport. I think would be fantastic if we could do something like that, and partnering with other schools. And so I think there's a whole host of things that we can do going forward on the horizon, and I'm excited about it. We've got a great team, great ideas, who are just fun to work with, and I'm excited.
It takes money.
It takes money.
You got a house. You've got executive directors. You got food.
The food budget is very important. You can think about 6 to 8 young boys eating. I've got 2 boys, and they eat me out of house and home. So I can only imagine having 8. It's a lot of food.
But it's not. They have a great kitchen, and they have a chef, right?
That's right. That's true. They do. We've got a great chef who comes in and makes great meals. We have these board dinners where a couple board members go to the house occasionally throughout the year, and we sat and had a great meal. It was fantastic. So again, one of the best parts about the program is just having those meals and having everyone come together to eat together as a family. I think it's fantastic.
Just a couple more. This is great. So what do the scholars think of Westport?
I think they like it. I think they like Westport. I think they recognize it's different from where most of them come from, but I think that they see this is a vessel and an opportunity for them to achieve their goals. And I think that for the most part, I think kids have great relationships with their friends outside of the school. We have Christmas event, for example, that or sort of holiday event, and kids who are not in the program come, and so I think that they really have good relationships that they're growing here with their friends, and I think for the most part it's a positive view.
Great. And what about you? How's Westport been for you?
It's been good. It's been great. I've been here for 10 years now. My boys started in as 4 and 2, and now they're 15 and 12, and we've been here for quite a while now, and they love it.
What are they involved
in? Soccer, basketball, swimming, you track, you name it. They play in orchestra as well, viola. So they're doing a little bit of everything. They're keeping my wife and I very busy.
You still play viola?
No, I haven't picked it up in a long time. No, I don't.
So you're not going to play at the
No, you won't be able to get me to do that.
Anyway. So last question.
Sure.
Somebody's out there, they're interested, they don't know that much about ABC. They want to get involved.
So,
What do they do?
So you can go to our website, abcwestport.org, and click.
Isn't it a better chance?
A better chance. Sorry, better. Thank you. You know better than I do. A better chance. Westport.org. Go to the website, click through. They can email me personally at a better chance prez. A better chance prez.gmail. I have to check that to make sure. I don't know.
Okay, they'll find it on the website.
They'll find it on the website, but they can just click through and reach out. There's a submission page for people who are interested in becoming a volunteer, learning more about the program, and either myself or someone else from the board will reach out and figure out how we can get you involved.
Great. In the meantime, if they want to come on April 26th, check the website and
that's probably the best thing to do. April 26th, come support, hear the stories, give some donations, and then we'll take it from there.
sounds good. Eric Freeman, president of A Better Chance of Westport. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all you do, and see you on Saturday.
All right, thank you, Dan.
You bet.
Bye.